Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. In the last episode we killed a necromancer and we also found Jana Aldori, and this episode I'm hoping that we can finish exploring the market square. So I think we had a giant centipede thing or something here. I'm going to continue to take a look around here. Here's Tiger. Some loot. Slimy skin. Yummy. These weapons, okay. These people were not killed by demons. Their mortal wounds were inflicted by ordinary weapons. So who's Tiger? Received item. Tiger. What? Okay. Oh. Sure. A rift in the earth left by Descari's massive scythe. You and your companions fell through here during the attack. I'm glad the game told me that, because I would never have remembered. And what's this? Hear me, take heed. The hordes of the Abyss march on Canabras. The wardstone is their target. They must not be allowed to capture it, and something something. The consequences will be disastrous. Wondering, there was a door thing here. Is it into the house? Oh, it's into the house. Though it was leaving the marketplace. We shall definitely explore this house then. I mean, maybe there's loot here. There is mutated fish, edible moss and onions. There's something over there as well. A journal about an experiment. Okay, let's see here. Experiment day 1. Today I was able to Jeez. I can't talk today, I think. Not that that's something new, I suppose. Today I was able to catch a quasite. Irori be my witness, it wasn't easy, considering my humble physical condition. Luckily, it was a scrawny specimen, about 7 pounds, with a wingspan of about 2 1/3 feet. When it awoke, the quasite first tried to attack me, and then ruined my clothes with his caustic saliva. Experiment day 3. I have begun my linguistic research. My goal is to study the language of quasites. I'm quite convinced they have their own dialect, as opposed to their own language. Through understanding their speech, I will be able to understand their way of thinking and convince them to rebel against their lord's tyranny. A revolution will roll through the abyss, and the powerless will rebel against their oppressors. I am sure that Everbloom Milani will not refuse her patronage even to such creatures as these, if they would break their chains of slavery. Unfortunately, progress is thus far insignificant. I have been able to catalogue only 2 words, which I suspect must mean rend and carrion. The quasite formed both words quite vividly when commenting on my person. This is someone who was quite optimistic, I feel. Ow. This just looks like a regular book. Yeah, nothing particular about this. If you want to read it, then feel free to just pause the video and read it.
I'm gone.
Someone is in here. More loot. And to the cellar. Okay. I suspect we'll find the quasite down here. These fighters must have been caught off guard. They died before they could even draw their weapons. Their bodies are covered in a thin layer of ice that is slowly melting. Scroll of fairy fire and see invisibility.
Follow my steps.
Okay. Clear the blockage.
Yet another obstacle.
Yeah. It's a dretch. Bernie. Your enemy dretch is highly resistant to energy damage with the descriptor fire. Okay.
Cover me, all right?
I will help where I
I
can.
think it might be a good idea to get some healing in here. Thank you. That should be sufficient for now.
Save the last one for me.
What the heck is going on here?
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
I agree.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
What's the deal here?
Wide open. The spirits demand your blood. Surrender or else.
Attack!
I kind of feel that there is something to this place. This scroll of sea invisibility. Where did it go? There it is. Use.
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Yeah, there we go. Suspect there was something. Okay, that didn't do much to it.
Today's sacrifice.
Deals 1 whole damage. Wow. Ow. Do you have any useful spells? Well, it is kind of dark down here, so I'm gonna cast light, I think.
This spell's faulty. No, really.
Because that should improve our chances at hitting them.
You won't survive me.
I think it's going to get... I'm gonna use this one. And smite evil on that thing.
Into the fray.
It was worth the attempt. Saved, of course. Move over there. You should probably change to your rapier.
Go for their hearts.
At least it's attacking Sela now, but this thing is doing some serious damage.
Distract them for me.
Endure this.
Do I have anything that I can use against this thing? Electricity, that isn't very useful against a demon. Now
Aim carefully.
I'm going to shoot it then and miss. Lay on hands on self.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
That wasn't too bad. And I don't think that there is really much of our spells that... Like, wow, 1d3 of divine damage? Okay, sure. Did at least 1 damage, It's more than 0.
I'll cut you wide open.
3 damage. Yeah, our sealer is struggling here. I don't suppose... No, you don't.
Time to share your treasures.
He keeps missing.
Make every strike count.
Lan keeps missing, and I don't think you, Caladon, has any healing spells.
Too late for apologies.
I suppose I could use this one on her. Didn't do much.
It should work. Is it flawed?
Why didn't that work? No idea.
The spirits demand your blood.
I don't think she can do much more this turn. Ow! Ow!
So this is
Ow!
how it feels.
Cover me, all right?
Yeah, this thing is nasty.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
I don't have any... How about in my inventory? Do I have anything useful here? Bless Weapon, Cat's Grace, Cause Fear. I don't think that'll help much against a demon. Divine Favor, Enlarged Person, Fairy Fire. That one might help. Protection for Chaos. If I only had that Communal, that might be something. That one is quite nice. I hadn't noticed that I'd gotten that one. I can't really use the bombs either because that's just going to cause problems. Let's use the magic missile, right? As for you...
The light, take you.
Good. Scroll of Protection from Evil, Scroll of Mage Armor.
I'll hit you.
I think we should be able to do this. But this thing having 3 attacks is really nasty.
You won't survive me.
Now it doesn't have many hit points left, so if I'm lucky, this should finish it. Yes. Now we can clear the rubble. We really need to rest.
The mongrel did it.
Good. What is in here?
Let's head out.
Not much. There's a chest here.
I hope you appreciate this.
A composite longbow that is unidentified, some shiny chitin, and 3 razor-sharp claws. Wicked longbow. +2 composite longbow. That's not bad. I see no reason why you shouldn't be using this. We have a currently +8 to attack. Goes to +9. 6 to 13 damage. As opposed to 4 to 11. So, yeah. Now, can we set up camp down here? Probably going to catch some corruption here, but not much. Yeah, that's going to be fine actually.
Hey ho, the dairy yo with his chicks aflame and his trues down low. I can't get that tune out of my head. Damn tavern songs.
Failed to weaken impact of corruption. Well, it was a difficulty class of 19, so... But we're going back to the inn, so I'm not that worried about it. 1 day, 21 hours. Day 21, month Arodus, the 8th, year 4715. Sometimes a long-awaited rest does not bring the desired relief. What comes is a heavy clinging sleep on the edge of wakefulness where consciousness seems poised between reality and oblivion. The possible reasons for such disturbed slumber are myriad. Strained nerves, perhaps, or a lingering reaction to trauma. Caledon emerges from the oblivion of his leaden sleep, like a drowned man dragging himself up from the depths of a swamp. The wound on his chest is burning like someone pressed an invisible brand to it. The wound has closed again, but the blood stain on his shirt betrays its presence beneath. There is no time to investigate the cause behind his malaise. A trying day lies ahead, but how Caledon will be up to the challenge if his thoughts are so muddled and his entire body aches like after a day's toil? I can't ignore my health, better take care of it now rather than later when it could already be too late. After several moments, the weariness abates, retreating to the depths of his subconscious, but leaving the path open to return the next time Caledon seeks refuge in sleep. Caledon recalls that he slept peaceful in the defender's heart. Perhaps a priest can explain what has happened. Yeah. But at least getting the spells back and so forth, even if we got a bit of corruption, I feel that was worth it. So, the Temple of Desna. It's probably been desecrated. Indeed it has. There's a book here. Again, I'm just going to open it, and you can pause the game if you want to read it. The recording. Some fine feathers. An altar of Desna, goddess of luck, patron deity of travelers and dreamers. Probably should have rested in here. Who's this? Count Arenday's servant. Thank the gods, I've found someone who isn't fleeing in a panic. Are you crusaders? Mercenary? Comely half-elf is so frightened he can barely get the words out. I am a servant of Count Daron Cale Nevis Arenday. My lord's mansion is under attack by demons. The master himself and all his guests are trapped inside, and the house guards are nowhere to be found. I managed to escape through a servant's passage to look for help. Will you help me? The mansion is only a stone's throw away, on the next street over. He meets your gaze with pleading eyes. Count Arenday. I have seen him a few times before, from afar. He looked highly audacious. I confess that he did capture my attention. But that's neither here nor there. We should help him. The gratitude of a rich and influential man can only benefit us. Succeeded at a knowledge world check. You have heard about the Arenday family before. This wealthy and noble Mandavian dynasty was almost wiped out by demons more than 10 years ago. The last surviving member of the family, the young Count Daron, has an infamous reputation. He is well known for being a rake and a rogue. Misfortune continues to dog the house of Arenday, I see. The servant cringes. You're telling me. Everyone tried to talk me out of taking up the position, saying that it can't have just been bad luck that brought tragedy down on the family and almost killed off the line. But I reasoned that since my master was the only one to survive that calamity, that meant he must be blessed by fate and the powers of good. Pay was nothing to sniff at either. The servant casts his eyes around the street. I should have listened to people smarter than me and gone to work somewhere else, preferably far away from Canarbras. Tell me more about what happened. I'll tell you what I can. I was working from dusk till dawn, and back to dusk again, serving guests at the Count's banquet. When the other servants came to relieve me at my post, I went to sleep. Next thing I know, I wake up and there are demons inside the mansion. I couldn't even reach the Count. The monsters had blocked the way. The Count's banquet was still going on. He and his guests were in the Great Hall, and as far as I could tell, the door to the room was sealed, and the demons couldn't get in. I am begging you, hurry. The mansion's doors are sturdily built, so the demons will have to work hard to get past them, so you still have time to rescue the people inside. Right, I will help. Where is your master's house? It's not far at all. You're better off entering from the next street over, through the passage I used to get out. Help, I'm begging you. I hate to think what the Count will do to me if I don't bring back help. That doesn't sound like the best way of enticing someone to get help.
Let us be careful.
Stranger up there. Judging by the size of the bloodstain, the body of something truly enormous was dragged over these stones. Terendelev, most likely. So the Temple of Desna, area exit. I'm not going to exit yet.
Might make you feel better.
I have no idea where the entrance he's talking about is. Cultists and clerics. Think of the cultist first.
You won't stop us.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
You are today's sacrifice.
And now I suppose I can't charge? No.
Did I mess up again?
Into the fray!
There's a fighter there as well, I didn't see him. And there's a demon.
A solid plan.
You missed. That didn't really do much damage, which is good. We'll go with the
Make
fighter.
every strike count.
Critical miss doesn't help though. You don't have that much health left.
Surrender or else.
Distract them for me.
Seriously.
Go for their hearts.
Enable that. You
The
take out the
inheritor
fighter.
guide my blade.
Thank you. Now the Dretch is next. I don't think I'm gonna bother using
Attack.
spells on these. She does have a rather high armor class, so but that is going to be annoying.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Thank you.
Too late for apologies.
I don't think we
Time
want
to
them
share
to
your
apologize, Ember. But, getting a lot of these inflict wound spells. Unidentified half plate. Ah, it's just a half plate plus one. It's hard to believe that this place recently held a bustling and festive market. Loot here and there. This. Midnight Bolt. The owner of this bolt can shoot it to deal 50 points of damage that cannot be ignored or reduced. This bolt cannot miss. Well done. I think I'm going to equip that on her. Nothing particular of interest there.
Tread lightly. Be careful, everyone.
There's a rat swarm.
I'll cut you wide open.
Cover me, all right?
Aim carefully.
Is I know. I think I'm going to
I'll hit you.
use. I was thinking about using Burning Hands, but there's 3 rat swarms, so Burning Hands would be quite useful actually.
The light take you!
You won't survive me.
Got 3 of them.
The spirits demand your blood.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Now it doesn't really seem necessary. Got an attack of opportunity there, so
Forwards.
You won't stop us.
yeah, no. Definitely not necessary. What's going on over here then? These people were not killed by demons. Their mortal wounds were
I'm gone.
starting to become a trend. What? There is something fishy going on here. The demon invasion transformed all of Canabras into one great battlefield, but nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. This place saw a clash of titans, the demon lord Descari leading his hordes from the abyss, and the dragon Terendilev, the mightiest of the city's defenders, and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome. Skilled Scout could recreate the course of the battle moment by moment, simply by looking at the ruins. From the chimneys torn down by powerful wings in a sharp dive, to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon the ruins. It is Caledon. And he is not alone. The shadow of a strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place. Like a gaze untethered from any observer, this mysterious force, unknown to mortal kind, silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way. In an instant, Caledon is vested with this power and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before him as a unified whole. An unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and flecks marring its splendor. What present does he see? Ruins, blood, corpses. None of this perturbs the Aeon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive, the dead will be judged by Pharasma. All is as it should be. But the demons circling in the sky or prowling through the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood-red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals. The demon's place is in the demon world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even the demons aren't as abhorrent as the sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and smashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it, but to the Aeon's eyes its mere existence is an outrage against universal laws. If the Aeon still existed, they would not stop till the crystal was unmade. But the Aeon is gone, and only their gaze remains. Paladon picks the crystal up out of the dirt and stows it in his pocket. He is mortal, which means he has the power to decide what to do with it. Purple stone knife. What past does he see? In the past exists the one who wielded this gaze in life. Although the one and life are inapposite terms for Aeons, the supernatural embodiments of cosmic balance. Rather than who or what, a better word for these entities is how. This Aeon appeared from outside this world, from the great beyond, to put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the Worldwound, the chasm disrupting the order of the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they came to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent Discari back to the Abyss. With one swing of his scythe, the Demon Lord cut the Aeon down. What future does he see? Good and evil, chaos and order. Everything is in its lawful place in the multiverse and is no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls from life into death and back to life again. The reality rid of its flaws is now perfect, and the Aeons withdraw to eternally admire its beauty, which will never be threatened again. After allowing the hero to view the world through their eyes, the little that remained of the destroyed Aeon — is killed even appropriate here for an entity that is so removed from life and death as we understand them — used up its last vestiges of energy. Now they are ready to disperse into nothingness, unless someone decides to preserve the Aeon within themselves. Will the hero take on this power so that he may look again at the world through another's eyes, or will he allow it to vanish? Give me a brief moment here while I pause the game, because I suspect that if I respond this, I will be taking the Aeon mythic path, and I need to know what I'm actually accepting if I do that, so I shall return shortly. And based on what I see, I do not want to take up the Aeon mythic path. Not sure if this is the way I actually take the Aeon mythic path. Let me just check that too. Yeah, there are a couple of mythic paths that we can unlock during the early stages. Yeah, this is how you unlock it. And okay, so you do not necessarily have to choose it. Okay, but then why not? Let's retain the Aeon's power within yourself. The spirit of the Aeon dwells out of sight, deep in Caledon's soul, like a pair of magical spectacles stowed away until the moment when the hero once again needs to look at the world through another's eyes. So that should be interesting. I'm not going to take the Aeon path. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure which path I would take at all on this character. The best path would be the Lich. But that doesn't really jive very well with the fact that I'm good. I'm not sure if being either neutral or evil is a requirement for taking the Lich path. We will just have to see, I suppose. Exit. Can I? God. I think there's something to fight down here. Definitely sounded like it was. Ramian. Oh, Hulrun is alive. My beloved brother, I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will ever emerge from? Or perhaps you're concerned that someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and will accidentally fall into it? Such foresight is laudable, but do you really need so many soldiers for such a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use? For instance, fighting demons or clearing rubble while the people trapped beneath it might still be alive? The face of this golden-curled Aasimar is beautiful, even by the standards of his kind, in whose veins runs the blood of angels. His melodious voice sounds cheerful, but bitter reproach simmers in his gaze. Don't you dare call me brother, heretic! The signs of recent hard fighting are obvious in this stern old man. Why on earth would he call an Aasimar a heretic? His armor is dented and covered in blood, and his unnatural pallor suggests something more dangerous than wounds inflicted by claws and fangs. Nevertheless, his gaze is stony, and his voice, accustomed to barking orders, is harsh and clipped. How dare you accuse me of doing nothing to protect this city, especially now, when followers of your temple were caught committing treason? In my mind, you are no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that in your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you have long since forgotten how to tell a friend from foe and good from evil. That's what happened with my adepts, whose act of treason was a genuine attempt to save the city. And yet again I am forced to repeat myself. While we are wasting time on pointless quarrels, people are dying under the rubble in our city. People whom we could have saved if you had only set your soldiers to the task and not kept them here, surrounding a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless? Well, if it is on your say-so, then that must mean there is someone down there. Your associates, no doubt. And they're just waiting for us to abandon our posts before they slink out and try again to... The old man notices your approach. And you! I remember you. You appeared in my city the day the demons attacked and Terendelev died. What are you doing here? Answer at once, or I'll have you strung up by your ankles before you know it. Don't think that the demons have wounded me. I still have enough strength to take on 100 of your sort. And what is this hideous creature? Hulrun peers at Lan with suspicion. Lan at your service? The mongrel ducks his head in a bow. My forebears fought in the First Crusade. I've lived in Canabras my whole life. Haven't ever seen me before? Ah, it must be because you don't even ever venture into our underground district. We have been meaning to complain to the city authorities that our paving stones have been in need of repair for a long time. Just Lan to come up with a good quip. The First Crusade? So, you're a mongrel? You obviously know human speech. Surprisingly well, in fact. Alright, let's be off with you. The prelate looks at you. If he causes any trouble, I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. I am a crusader, and I am fighting to liberate Canabras from the demons. A crusader, you say? I'll be looking into that. You obviously don't know to whom you are speaking. I am the one who decides who's a crusader and who's a traitor in this city. Hulrun Shapok, prelate of Canabras by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Galfrey, and the city's defender against threats from within and without. And as we can see, you've done a sterling job protecting the city. The golden-curled Aasimar flashes a flinty smile. I am Ramian of Edmei, prior to the Temple of Desna, which, alas, currently lies in ruins. Wise Hulrun here believes it is vital to guard this hole in the ground from which he is certain demons will emerge at any moment. I have been trying to convince him that the city has far more urgent matters to deal with. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. You know what? There may in fact be one matter that is more important than guarding this hold. I've put it off, and look where it's led us. I should have had you hung from the gate's back when you dared to defend your gang of delinquent demon collaborators. If the Sarkorians had hanged Aralu Vorlesh while they had the chance, there never would have been even a war. I won't repeat their mistake. I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum. Prelate, see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without a trial, that is unworthy of a servant of Iomedae. The old man fixes his eyes on Cellar. Lest you forget, girl, we may serve the same goddess, but you are not an Inquisitor. Don't question the way I choose to serve Iomedae, and I won't question yours. Behold, Inquisitor, I bear the gift of an angel who died in the caves below Canabras. I am no enemy of yours. The old man frowns and whispers something. Prayer or a spell? With each word, his face relaxes. You are telling the truth. The light in your hand was wrought by the power of heaven. I will keep an open mind with regard to you, stranger. And later, under less fractious circumstances, I would like to ask you about how you came to receive this gift. But that can wait. Now I must deal with this filth, once and for all. What precisely are you accusing Ramian of, Inquisitor? Treason. Not long before the city was attacked, several followers from his temple tried to secretly access the wardstone and perform an unknown ritual over it. Hulrun is trembling with fury. The wardstone of Canabras, the gift from Iomedae, the bringer of light, wrought by the hands of her herald, the first in the chain, and followers of that crazy runt of a goddess try to meddle with it using their magic after hearing a voice in their dreams. My soldiers almost had them caught when Ramian got in the way, allowing the traitors to go to ground. I made a mistake. I didn't have him locked in a cell and interrogated to within an inch of his life. And now the city lies in ruins. It is time to rectify that mistake. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. My people foresaw the attack on the city. They knew the wardstone already carried the seed of corruption within itself, and they were simply trying to heal it. I've heard similar claims before. Now, where was it? Ah yes, from Staunton Vane, the traitor who brought down Dresden. The lessons of the past have taught us a great deal, and that is why I never believed you on your mob's lies even for a second. And I was right. Ramian looks at the prelate. You're a fool, Hulrun. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. I told you that the wardstone was weakened. You wouldn't listen. I warned you that the city was going to be attacked. You shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the wardstone, and you stopped them. Of course, those truly responsible for this tragedy are the demons, but you have done nothing to prevent it, and now you would still rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit that you were wrong, as always. With a wave of his hand, the Azimar vanishes. He fled, the heretic. He's no doubt expecting me to rush off in pursuit, but that won't work on me. Hulrun turns his attention to you. What about you? If you truly have been marked out for a gift from heaven, this is your chance to save the city. Go and bring back that filthy traitor. I'm almost certain that he and his cronies were helping the demons, either knowingly or unknowingly. Their attempt to bewitch the wardstone is clear proof. Ramian must be captured. Why are you obsessed with finding enemies everywhere you look? Why? Why? You must not be from these parts, or you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere because our enemies are everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons. Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception. They worm their way into your favor and masquerade in all manner of false guises. Do you think Dresden was captured by force? No, by trickery. If not for me, Canabras would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now, listen to what I am about to tell you. This was a long time ago. I was very young then, and I had just joined the crusade. Back then, Canabras didn't have a garrison so much as a public thoroughfare. Anyone who wanted could just stroll into the city. One day, at dawn, a group of refugees came up to the city gates, bold as brass. The guards let them in, and why not? For no one was ever turned away. 'Twas no matter. Everyone was welcome in our city. Came from Mendeb, or if you'd hauled yourself here from across the seas, the crusade accepted all and sundry. On this occasion, we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as those innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons and rushed toward the wardstone, slaughtering everyone who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. None of them dared to go near it. The light of the goddess burned them all, so they threw the blood from afar, spattering the wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, an eyeless beast, Minago is her name, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals had been sitting ducks. The creature was right too. We let our guard down and we got what we deserved. That bloodbath came to be known as the Red Morning Massacre, and it was burned into the townsfolk's memories. Since then, Canabras has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rebel who coveted Aralu's glory. We drove them all out of the city. Haven't had any troubles here since. Okay. We haven't had any trouble here since. Indeed. Many have come here, even the Balor Koramzadeh, and they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or else they were killed for their trouble. You see, Descari himself had to crawl out of the abyss and come here. Let us curse him in order to break through our defenses. And what did he do? He left again, and we're still fighting. Now that is what vigilance and discipline can do. I see you suffered greatly in battle. Nonsense. I had to deal with a brood of Nabazus. It was nothing. I've taken on worse enemies with the goddess's help. Succeeded in a knowledge arcana check. Nabazus, also known as death demons, have the ability to drain their victims' life force. Judging by Hulrun's pallor, he has lost a significant amount of his energy. The Inquisitor can bluster as much as he wants, but right now he's far from the peak of his abilities. Ramian really warned you about the attack? Those crazed Desnans were always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in their dreams. I won't lie, sometimes what they said did come to pass, but can we really rely on the woolly dreams of heretics over the cold hard facts of intelligence reports? Plenty of demons could have easily fooled them and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, Mr. Curls for Brains came to me and declared the demons were about to attack the city, and that the wardstone's power was diminished by some kind of contamination or taint. Iomede, forgive me for even repeating the words. Well, after uttering such blasphemy, he should have been locked up, along with his followers, and interrogated. But instead I simply increased the surveillance on them. And what next? My people caught them red-handed, trying to attack the wardstone with unknown magic. And not even 3 days later, the demons attacked the city. There is an obvious connection between these events. Whether deliberately or under demonic influence, the Desnans played right into the hands of Descari's hordes, and they almost left the city completely defenseless. Ramian covered for his people the whole time and helped them escape my guards. After that, what else can he be but a traitor, the heretic? Well, there's nothing dangerous in this hole. You have no reason to guard it. You told me yourself that you received a light-bringing gift from an angel who perished in the caves below our feet. It is no secret that those passages are teeming with dangerous creatures that could kill anyone, even a warrior of heaven. Demons and demonic offspring love roaming about underground. That is why I will be keeping an eye on this hole. If the beasts decide to attack from here, we will be ready for them. I don't like this person. Where can I find Ramian? How should I know? The weasel can't have gone far. He's turned invisible. He's probably hunkered down in some hole like the traitorous little rat he is, and he'll be sitting trembling and waiting till he's dragged out of there. With the Prelate after you? That seems the only sensible thing to do. It's what I'd do. I'm sure lots of things sound sensible to you. And it works too. As you can see, I'm still alive. Well, I have to go. Go on then, if you have to. It would be good if you could return with the head of that scum. Ember peers intently at Hulrun. I remember you. When Father and I arrived in this city, you met us. What is this gibberish? As if I have nothing better to do than to arrange a meeting with vagrants. But it's true. You and the other knights tied us to stakes and started lighting the bonfire. Father died, and then one of your knights changed his mind and pulled me from the flames, but then he died too. Don't you remember? You were burned, then it was with good reason. You say some traitor helped you escape from the fire? That is a crime in itself, which means that you have been evading justice all these years. If it weren't for the invasion, I would review your case and see that your sentence was finally fulfilled. You're lucky that we have more important matters to deal with right now. He didn't look the way he does now. All wrinkled and grey. He was young, with a big moustache. Ember smiles broadly and draws a large bushy moustache in the air with her finger. He probably forgot all about me a long time ago. But I do want to say one thing. I'm not cross with him. This knight is a true hero. He just really, really wanted to protect his city. Only, he got all mixed up about who was good and who was evil. Hulrun, you sent an innocent child to be burned at the stake? Don't you want to ask for forgiveness? Pah! Hardly. Anyone can look innocent. How did this girl manage to survive the fire? And what about that crow that's always flying around her? I advise you to take a closer look at this innocent little lamb of yours. If you ask me, she looks highly suspicious indeed. Him, after what he did to you? He thought he was doing what was right. How do you know? Maybe you've done something thinking it was a good thing, but you were really doing a bad thing that hurt someone. But what if I've done the same thing? You can't get angry at people for making mistakes, when you might be no better than them. Let's go, Ember. Yes, let's go. Bye-bye, kind knight. The girl waves to Hulrun with a carefree smile. Hulrun grimaces and turns away. That's very interesting. It also prolonged the length of the episode quite substantially, but I don't want to go... I mean, I saw I had the choices of either attacking him as a chaotic option or a lawful option. And even though I don't like him, because he's obviously quite the zealot and kind of crazy at that, I still feel that Ember is right. She's got the gist of it. He really does want the best for the city. Although, I might be surprised by some twist in the story and discover that he's the reason the demons were able to attack. We will probably discover that later on. But Ember is neutral good. And when you look at someone's alignment, which is what worries me about Camellia, is you can kind of get a feeling for where they belong in how they behave and what they say, how they act. So I kind of feel that she's genuinely saying what she's saying because she truly believes what she's saying there. So, but I think we shall end the episode here because 55 minutes and so forth. So if you have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section. And also, if you want to join us in the Discord server, then please find the link to that in the description as well. And, well, you might want to actually leave the comments in the comment section and not the description, but yeah, I tend to do that mistake from time to time. But with that said, thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope to see you all in the next episode.